I read Chapter 3, World Without Boundaries, Who Let the Calories In. It's really about how our culture has changed over the past few decades, what foods and eating patterns were and are accepted, and how and why they changed to be what they are today. In 1970, 25% of the American food dollar was spent on food away from home, and in 1996 it jumped to 35%. The book states that in the 1970s, Americans ate out so often was because the mothers were entering the workforce, and they didn't want to prepare meals for their family. They really just wanted to enjoy their family, and so they would go out to eat to enjoy this family time. And I think that's totally correct. I think we go out to eat because it's more convenient. We don't have to make anything. We don't have to think about preparing meals. We don't have to go grocery shopping to get these meals. And I, for one, sometimes go out to eat because I haven't bought groceries in a while, and sometimes it's just really easy to do. In the 1980s, snacking was encouraged. They called it grazing, which was eating small portions all day long. The kids would take snacks to school with them, and they would, have snack time. But increasing these calories, empty calories, was not very good. We do have a lot of variety in our snacks nowadays. We have chips, granola bars, candy, all that good stuff. And we tend to reach those, when we're hungry, even though they're not good for us. So with the vending machines at school, at work, buying a soda versus water, we're just tempted by all these empty calorie snacks, which, is just going to produce fat on our body that we don't need. In 1989, 34.7 gallons of soft drinks were consumed by adolescents. And in 1994, this went up to 40.3 gallons consumed by adolescents, which is not very good. It's really just empty calories, sugary sodas and juices and things like that. They're really just empty calories. They're not good for us. They make us, more hungry. They don't make us satisfied for a very long time. And I think that's why we, continue to consume more sugary juices and, soda and even alcohol. They all give us empty calories, and it doesn't fill us up. And I really think we need to drink more water and have some sensible snacks. In the book, they mentioned that they did a study. They calculated if food away from home had the same average nutritional densities as food at home. And they found out that Americans would have consumed 197 fewer calories per day. And in other words, those extra pounds would fuel enough energy for 20 days. That's fact really astonished me because I usually do eat food away from home. I pack snacks throughout the day, but banana, yogurt, granola bar, that doesn't fill me up from 9 a.m. until 10 o'clock when I go home to eat dinner. And it just really surprised me that that's a lot of food and calories that I'm taking in versus what I could be, bringing from home. The book also mentions how children and adults do not know when they're full. Research has been shown that giving advice on to know when you're full instead of teasing, and hassling, the advice is way more effective than, the teasing, to know when to stop when you're full. And over the decades, I think that it's more acceptable to kind of give kids what they want. If they throw the fit in the store because they want the candy bar, we're going to give them the candy bar to make them stop crying. Or, to avoid fighting at dinner, we're not going to make them eat their vegetables, which your eating habits come from childhood. So whatever you learn when you're a child is what you're going to adapt into as an adult. And, grabbing that candy bar, that you don't need, or not eating your broccoli or peas, the stuff that really has good nutritional value, it just kind of sets you up for failure. With America being the way that it is, I think it's pretty acceptable, that people are overweight and obese. It's more acceptable than it was, in the 60s where people were ashamed to go outside if they were, overweight and, they didn't fit into their clothes. Whereas now you see people wearing, pajamas to Walmart, it's not the best look. And I really think that people don't think they're susceptible to heart attacks and diabetes and really just harmful diseases, even heart attacks. I don't think people think they're susceptible to those sort of things. And we always make jokes that, oh yeah, I'm just going to stay home and eat pizza. I'm going to fit this whole pizza in my mouth. So as, those seem funny, they're really not. It just shows how much of a lazy nation we are and what kind of bad foods we eat. It's not a very good thing. I really think we're on a downward spiral for health here in America, due to obesity, lack of exercise, portion control, and then eating all this unhealthy fast food.